Good evening. Coming up on tonight's South Today. A new report claims our water companies deliberately downplay the damage done in sewage spills.
This is a catastrophic failure in regulation, whether it be environmental regulation or financial regulation. The finger can and should be pointed at the water companies, their regulators and the governance of that water industry.
We'll hear what the industry has to say in reply. Hello, I'm Alan Sinclair. The companies that provide our drinking water and treat our sewage are under scrutiny as perhaps never before. While there is evident public mistrust of the firms, today academics have gone further. They're accusing water firms of using deception tactics. Research by Portsmouth University highlights examples where sewage spills are described as causing minimal or temporary impact, despite limited evidence and ongoing ecological harm. Overflows are blamed on customers and wet wipes, while downplaying problems with infrastructure. The study found water firms deploying 22 different greenwashing and disinformation tactics commonly used by the fossil fuel and tobacco industries. Well, earlier I spoke to lead author Professor Alex Ford and asked him what he meant by the phrase greenwashing.
Well, greenwashing is a term that's often given to companies that either try to accentuate how good their products are or actually try to hide how bad their products are.
So without wanting to mince our words, are you saying that our water companies have been lying to us?
Well, they certainly haven't been too upfront with the truth in some of the things that they've been saying. For example, in the past they were saying that they don't discharge raw sewage into our environment. And after a period of time when people were really questioning that, they were then saying, well, actually, we do discharge raw sewage, but only a little bit. It's not that much, or it's only for a short period of time.
Your study has found that the tactics used by the water industry are similar to those used in the past by the fossil fuel industry, by the tobacco industry. Can you give us a specific example? Yeah,
sure. Well, these tobacco industries, oil industry, pesticide industries in the past have been up against regulation. They want to stymie regulation. They want to prevent themselves from being fined. So they've come up with this entire playbook where they push back against some of the information that might be coming out to prove that they're doing bad things to the environment or to human health. So we've looked at these tactics and we found quite a few relate to the water industry. In fact, a large majority of them relate to the water industry. Some of these were some of the things I mentioned earlier, where they're just denying that raw sewage is being discharged and then just emphasising, OK, it's not that much, and they're trying to deflect maybe the blame on somebody else. Or another example would be they're saying, oh, well, if you're going to fix it, it's going to cost you, the public, a lot of money to get it fixed, then result on increased bills.
The water firms would argue, of course they would, that they have been making progress. I know Thames Water, for example, have an online map where you can see in real time live data about sewage discharges. They are improving, aren't they?
Well, we're certainly getting better information now, and of course they didn't do that willingly. They were told to do that by the Environment Agency to put these event duration monitors on, and as a result of that we now know the frequency of which sewage is being discharged into our rivers and around our coasts. What we don't know yet is about the volume of sewage discharges.
Well, you mentioned the Environment Agency. Of course, water is a regulated industry. Should it be the politicians, the regulator Ofwat, that we should be leaning on for more clear, transparent data?
Well, this is a catastrophic failure in regulation, whether it be environmental regulation or financial regulation. So the finger can and should be pointed at the water companies, their regulators and the governance of that water industry.
It is a theme of our times, of course. Trust is a precious commodity. Where does this leave us?
What I hope it does is make people look in more detail. So when they do come up with sound bites to say they're improving the environment, maybe people will flip that and go, well, maybe they're just stopping damaging the environment rather than the reverse.
We will, of course, all keep watching. Professor Alex Ford, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Well, in response to that research, industry body Water UK said, contrary to the claims of this paper, the English water sector is one of the most transparent in the world. Last year, England became the first country in the world to make near real-time storm overflow data publicly available. In addition, data on company performance is regularly published by the sector's regulators. The supplied background notes say that the paper incorrectly calls them UK water in places, questions some of the researchers' calculations and says wet wipe blockages cost £200 million a year.